Every single second of every day, a war is raging. It is not fought with tanks or jets, but on a microscopic battlefield invisible to the naked eye. The territory at stake is your own body. You are constantly under siege by billions of invisible entities trying to use you as a host. To survive, nature has endowed us with the ultimate defense system, but sometimes nature needs help. Today, we are going to explore the most effective weapon in human history. We will deconstruct the science of immunology, antibodies, and public health to understand how vaccines actually work. Welcome to the Body's Boot Camp. So, what exactly is a vaccine? If we strip away the chemistry, a vaccine is essentially a biological preparation that provides active immunity to infectious diseases. Think of it not as a cure, but as a school. It is a training session for your immune system. Just as a soldier trains with blank ammunition before facing real combat, a vaccine prepares your body to fight diseases without you actually having to get sick first. It allows your internal defenses to run a full-scale simulation, learning the enemy's tactics safely before the real threat ever arrives. To understand the defense, we must first understand the enemy. We call these invaders pathogens. They are the microscopic invaders that constantly attack your body. They come in many forms. There are viruses, like the ones that cause the flu or measles. There are bacteria, single-celled organisms responsible for illnesses like strep throat. And there are fungi. Your immune system has a singular, difficult directive. It must identify and destroy these disease-causing germs to keep you healthy. If it fails, the consequences can be fatal. Your body's defense architecture is known as the immune system. It is a complex network of cells and organs that works tirelessly to keep you alive. The main defenders in this story are the white blood cells, or leukocytes. We can divide this defense into two modes. First, there is the general defense. This includes your skin and mucus barriers, the castle walls and the moat. But when an enemy breaches the walls, the body switches to specific defense. This is a targeted, intelligent attack on the specific invader, and this is where vaccines work their magic. How does your body know what to attack? It comes down to identification. Every cell in the universe, whether it is yours or a bacteria's, displays unique surface markers called antigens. You can think of antigens like team uniforms. Your own cells wear the home team jersey. They display self-antigens that tell your immune system, I am friendly, do not shoot. Pathogens, however, wear non-self-antigens. These are the enemy targets. The entire science of vaccination is based on teaching your body to recognize these enemy uniforms without fighting the whole army. The immune response begins with the scout. In biological terms, this is the macrophage. These are large white blood cells that roam your body looking for anything that doesn't belong. When they find an unknown germ, they engulf and digest it. But they don't just eat it, they analyze it. The macrophage takes pieces of the germ, the antigens, and displays them on its own surface. It effectively acts as an intelligence officer, returning to the lymph nodes to show the immune system generals exactly what the enemy looks like. Waiting in the lymph nodes is the general, the helper T cell. When the macrophage presents the enemy antigen to the helper T cell, the general springs into action. It verifies the threat and then sounds the alarm. It releases chemical signals that rush throughout the immune system. The command is clear and urgent. We are under attack. Build weapons to match this specific shape. This coordination is critical. Without the helper T cell, the immune system wouldn't know which weapon to forge. The chemical alarm wakes up the heavy industry of the immune system, the B cells. These cells are the weapon factories. Once activated by the T cells, they begin to undergo a remarkable transformation. They start mass-producing specialized Y-shaped proteins called antibodies. These are not generic weapons. They are highly specific. Each antibody is designed to lock on to only one antigen type, like a key fitting into only one specific lock. If the virus changes shape, the key won't fit. Precision is everything. Now the attack begins. We call this neutralization. The antibodies flood the bloodstream and swarm the invaders. They latch on to the antigens on the surface of the virus or bacteria. By covering the pathogen, they physically block the virus from attaching to and entering your healthy cells. They also act as beacons. They tag the pathogens, lighting them up so that other killer cells can easily find and destroy them. It is a coordinated, overwhelming assault. Eventually, the battle is won. The infection is cleared. But the body does not forget. This brings us to the memory bank. After the battle, most of the immune cells die off. They are no longer needed, but a select few remain behind. These are the memory cells. They act as the historians of your biology. They remember the enemy's shape forever. If that specific pathogen ever attacks again, the response isn't a slow buildup. It is instant. The body already knows the strategy, and the enemy is crushed before you even know you were infected. You might ask, if my body can do this naturally, why do I need a vaccine? The answer lies in the problem with natural immunity. Natural immunity requires you to catch the real disease first. This is a gamble with high stakes. You risk death or permanent damage before your body has time to learn how to fight. History is filled with examples. Polio caused permanent paralysis, and measles caused brain swelling before immunity could develop. The price of natural education is often too high. This is where human ingenuity steps in. This is how the vaccine solves this. A vaccine is a biological sleight of hand. It introduces a harmless version of the antigen into the body. It tricks your body into thinking it is under full-scale attack. The immune system goes through all the steps: the scouts, the generals, the factories. It builds antibodies, and crucially, it builds memory cells. You gain all the immunity of the survivor without ever suffering the illness. Scientists have developed different ways to pull off this trick. Type 1 is the live attenuated vaccine. In this method, scientists take the living germ and weaken it in the laboratory. It is still alive, it can still replicate, but it has been crippled so it cannot cause illness. Because it is so close to the real thing, it creates a very strong, long-lasting immunity. This is the technology behind the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox vaccines. Type 2 is the inactivated vaccine. Here, the scientists kill the germ completely using heat or chemicals. They use the dead version of the germ to stimulate the immune system. Because the pathogen is dead, it is much safer for people with weakened immune systems. However, because it doesn't replicate, the immune reaction isn't quite as strong. These vaccines often require booster shots later to remind the body of the threat. The polio shot and the annual flu shot are classic examples of this technology. Recently, we have entered a new era with type 3 mRNA vaccines. This is new tech. Instead of injecting a virus, dead or alive, we inject a piece of genetic code called mRNA. Think of it as a recipe card. This recipe teaches your own cells how to build a tiny, harmless piece of the virus, specifically the spike protein. Your immune system spots this foreign protein and practices attacking it. It is a clean, precise way to train the body. This is the breakthrough technology used in the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. Vaccines don't just protect the person who gets the shot, they protect the entire community. This concept is called herd immunity or community immunity. When most people in a population, say 95%, are vaccinated, the disease has nowhere to go. It hits a wall of immunity and dies out. This is vital because it protects vulnerable people who cannot get vaccinated: newborn babies, cancer patients, and the immunocompromised. Your vaccination acts as a shield for your neighbor. To appreciate where we are, we need a history lesson. In 1796, a doctor named Edward Jenner noticed something strange. Milkmaids who caught mild cowpox from their cows never seemed to catch the deadly smallpox that was ravaging the world. He tested this theory by injecting a young boy with cowpox and then exposing him to smallpox. The boy survived. It was the birth of immunology. In fact, the word vaccine comes from vacca, the Latin word for cow, honoring this breakthrough discovery that changed humanity forever. Today, we don't just inject and hope. Vaccines go through rigorous testing and safety protocols. Before a vaccine reaches your arm, it undergoes years of testing. It starts with Phase 1 to check for basic safety. Phase 2 determines the right dosage. Phase 3 tests effectiveness with thousands of volunteers. Even after release, they are constantly monitored by health agencies to ensure ongoing safety and efficacy. It is one of the most regulated medical products in existence. Sometimes one shot isn't enough. Why do we need boosters? Biology isn't perfect. Over time, your memory cells can sometimes forget the face of the enemy, as is the case with tetanus. In other cases, like the flu, the virus mutates and changes its disguise, rendering the old memory useless. A booster shot serves as a reminder lesson. It wakes up your immune system, updates the intelligence, and ensures your protection remains at maximum levels. In summary, vaccines are one of the greatest achievements of modern civilization. They imitate infection to train B cells to make antibodies while leaving behind protective memory cells. They do more than just save the individual. They protect both individuals and communities through herd immunity. They allow us to save millions of lives without the cost of illness. They are the body's boot camp, ensuring that when the real war comes, we are ready to win.